G'day everyone, I'm Mr. Code and welcome to another lesson for STEAM podcast. And today we're going to continue on with our drone theme and talk about delivery drones. So today's live lesson is dedicated to all the schools and students that are participating in the new First LEGO League Cargo Connect season. I hope that this video will inspire your team to do some drone related innovation projects. At the end of the lesson, we'll also be testing our very own cargo delivery drone right here. So if you like this content, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more similar videos. I'm just going to double check our chat because last week there was a lot of really important feedback coming in from our chat. If you type something into the chat, I won't get it for 15 seconds. Okay, so there's a little bit about a 15-second delay. So if you want to get a question in early, then feel free to type it in as soon as it comes to your mind so that I can get to it before the lesson ends, okay? All right. No problems. I'm already getting some great feedback from the chat here. Okay, let's get started. Just putting up some slides. Doesn't seem to be very quick. Here we are. Excellent. So over a decade ago, Amazon promised that the future of cargo deliveries will be done by drone. But in that time, in that decade-long period of time, we haven't seen many changes. Well, we've barely seen these changes to our logistics system. And we still use shipping containers to deliver millions of items around the world. And we still have trucks and trains and vans transporting the bulk of the goods from those shipments to our doorstep. However, in the background, Amazon and other companies have been working to realize automated delivery systems. To understand why we want drone deliveries, we need to understand the cost of deliveries. When a shipping container is loaded with millions of products like this shipping container over here, full of clothing, toys, and electronic products, the cost of delivery per item is really, really small. And this is because the scale and the number of deliveries makes it so that each product only has to pay a small amount to cover the cost of this cargo ship. You know what this cargo ship is? The name on the side of it says Evergreen. This is the one that got caught in the Suez Canal, right? So this is an example of a cargo ship. So as you can see, it's filled up with cargo containers. Each one of these containers are like 40-foot long containers, so they're like 13 meters long. They're very, very big container ships, and they carry a lot of cargo in between countries by going through the ocean. Can you please comment on your thoughts about the overall quality and ease of use of the Litebee wing? That's an excellent question there, Penguin. I will get back to you later on in the episode, okay? But that's an excellent question. Don't forget to talk to me about it later. So the problem of these delivery costs is when it reaches that destination country. Okay, so when you have all the items in a big cargo container, cargo ship, it's very cheap to get it across the ocean. But the problem is when the delivery arrives to the country, and then the millions of items need to be redistributed to trains and trucks and vans to be delivered to other locations like your doorstep. And these modes of transport all need drivers and people like these nice staff over here picking up and putting down items and transporting them around. And the delivery cost of each item will get forced up because of all the people that are involved in this kind of operation. And the aim of drone deliveries is to reduce or replace the amount of work that humans need to do in order to make that last leg of a cargo's journey to your doorstep. And the idea may involve self-driving vehicles like this Australian post robot that can travel short distances on roads and pathways to drop off your package on your driveway or at your front door. More excitingly, we might have flying drones that can deliver your package to your backyard or balcony. And with this kind of technology, you can forget one-day shipping because you can receive these items that you ordered online in a matter of hours after you click the buy button. Drone deliveries can also make access to emergency health and medical supplies a lot faster and more efficient. And in fact, drone delivery technology is already being used in some countries for delivering emergency medical supplies. Can you guess what they are? If you think, what is the most advanced drone delivery country in the world, you probably won't realize that that the answer to this question is Rwanda or Ghana. Okay, so if you said Rwanda or Ghana, you are correct. So these countries have outsourced their emergency medical deliveries to a drone company called Zipline, which has been life-changing for medical patients in those countries. Zipline drones use this fixed-wing design that flies to its destination, and then it drops the medicine or drops the blood delivery in a package with a parachute, and then it flies around and returns to base. So if these other countries have already adopted delivery drones, why is it that in Australia we don't have delivery drones yet? Why is it that we don't see them as widespread and popular? Well, the main barrier is legislation and safety testing. Although nobody has been hurt by a zipline drone, Rwanda and Ghana have very different operating environments to Australia. Australia, for example, has really high quality road networks where van and truck deliveries can be very reliable and really efficient. Whereas in Rwanda, a lot of the roads are made out of dirt. So it can make the van and trucks really bumpy. And if you have really delicate medical supplies like blood supplies, it can get damaged during these deliveries. So these air deliveries using drones became a much higher priority in a country like Rwanda and Ghana. Australia also has much higher amounts of air traffic, whereas Rwanda, the number of zipline drones actually outnumbers the number of flights going into their international airport. So that means that drone deliveries are not highly prioritized right now in Australia, but in the future you can expect that as customer demands increase and the expectation is for faster deliveries, more reliable deliveries and cheaper deliveries, then we can expect that this legislation will change to meet those demands. Just checking out to see if anybody's been answering some of these questions. Excellent. We've already had some users who correctly answered Rwanda for that question on the drone network. So excellent work. Very knowledgeable crew you are. If Rwanda and so that is the main factors. Those are the main factors. In the future, we may see these improved in Australia. We may see drone deliveries. If we can get past the legislation, if we can find a safe way of operating them and a reliable and responsible way of flying drones. Because right now, there's a lot of restrictions to drones in Australia. You have to fly them manually, you have to fly them in line of sight, and so forth, which means that automated drones are out of the question right now. So let's have a look at our drone up here. So I'm also holding this drone. In order for a delivery drone to work, it needs to have three basic things. It needs to have a transport method, a method of locomotion, so it can have wheels. In our case, it's a quadcopter, so it's going to fly. It needs a navigation method. So For this drone, we have made an upgrade since last week. So we have this QR code recognition system underneath the drone, so it can scan the ground that it is flying across. And then it can recognize where it is positioned by looking at these QR code mats on the table. And then finally, it needs a delivery system. So for our drone, you can't see it on this picture, but on the back of our drone, there's this little silver attachment, which is an electromagnet. Does anybody know what an electromagnet is? Does anyone want to have a guess at what an electromagnet is in the chat? We got a few things, a few people guessing. Yep. So an electromagnet is a magnet that can be turned on or off, depending on if we put electricity through it or not. So that's very useful for our drone here, because if we turn on the electromagnet, then we can pick something up like this chain, okay, this metal chain. If the electromagnet is not turned on, you can see that it does not attract the chain. But when we turn it on, then it's going to become like a normal magnet, and then it's going to attract the chain. So in a moment, we're going to go through the programming of this Litebee drone system and show you how this can be put into practice. So those are the three things. So we need a navigation method, drone delivery method, and also a propulsion or transport method. Yeah, those three things for a delivery drone to work properly. Now let's have a look at this Litebee code. Here we have the Litebee software, which is using Scratch. And at the start here, we set a block called calibration, which is where we tell the drone to calibrate its sensors, because it should be sitting on a smooth surface, and it needs to know that this surface might be angled in a particular way, and it adjusts all of its sensors. It waits for a few seconds, and then electromagnet open. So there is a built-in functionality on this drone to turn on its electromagnet. So right at the beginning, we are going to turn on our electromagnet to pick up a chain, and then we're going to lift off. We're going to take off at a height of 75 centimeters. Then we're going to hold position a little bit. Then we're going to move forward at a speed of 10 centimeters a second, which is a very slow crawl, but because I'm in a small space right now, I don't need the drone to be flying really quickly. I want it to fly really slowly so that I can see the QR codes underneath. And then we are waiting until, the flight code number underneath, which is another word for the QR code, is equal to 11. So that's just the code for this QR code map. And then it's going to hover a little bit, and then it's going to close its electromagnet. So it's going to turn off the electromagnet and drop off the cargo, just like the zipline drone that we saw in those stills before. And then it's going to travel back until it sees its flight code is number 2, so the original flight pad, and then it's going to land the drone. Okay, very simple. And it's this code is to simulate a very realistic way that a drone delivery will happen. So usually a drone delivery will happen where a person will load up the drone with your essential supplies, or your phone delivery, or your medical delivery, and then the drone will take off and then make the delivery, and then it will come back. So this is kind of simulating that kind of mission. I don't know if it's going to work, but we're going to find out, okay? So give me a moment while I go and set it up, and then I'll switch it on, and then we can see if it works, all right? So we'll just be right back. All right, this is the first drone test. Whoa, better turn on the camera, because last time I forgot to turn off the camera. I forgot to turn it on. You can see it's picked up the chain. Now it's slowly creeping forward. And, oh, it's sort of flying. It sort of went off to the side. Hey, it dropped the cargo. All right. And it's going to land. Yes, it's a success. All right. All right. That's good. That's good. I'm going to do it one more time. But before we do it another time, have we got any questions coming in from the crowd? Other than I need a haircut, all right? I've been in lockdown for several months, so forgive me for not taking my haircut. Good. I haven't got any questions yet. If you have any ideas or feedback on what we can do differently, then let me know. I'm going to set up the drone to fly one more time, okay? Hold on for a second. All right, I'll turn on the camera and we will do our second drone delivery test. Well, you can't actually see from my... There it is. All right, so you see the electromagnet is attracting onto the chain. All right, there's nothing clamping it down, it's just a magnet. And then as it flies over, yes, it drops the chain and then it's going to head back. Doing a little bit of overshooting there. Fantastic. All right, so that is a very quick and simple demonstration of how drone deliveries might work. As you can see, the principles are really, really simple, right? We just need a drone that is able to navigate on its own. It needs to be able to recognize its surroundings. It's got to be able to pick something up and drop something. In our case, we're using an electromagnet. And it's also got to have a way of moving. So in our case, it was a quad motor drone, right? Very, very cool. Have we got any questions? Can the code be shared? Absolutely. Actually, you can watch this video again after it's no longer live. You can watch a replay and then you can pause the video when I showed the code, and then you can copy the code that you want to use. Have we got any other questions? That's pretty cool. Yeah, that is pretty cool, huh? Very, very cool. I got a few people from my FLL team who have already done a few of these activities. Very well done, guys. Keep on doing the good work you do. If we don't have any questions, I'll just double check to see if there's any more. So as you can see, the drone deliveries can be simplified to be really simple. Okay, so it's a really simple design. You don't need like GPS or anything like that. It just has to be items or whatever technology you can get your hands on, right? We're using a Litebee drone this time, but you can use other forms of robotics technology to do something similar. And of course, in real world examples, delivery drones have much more accurate flight controllers and navigation systems to travel to the right destination. You can see that our drone was drifting a little bit off the target. That's because it's an educational product. It's not like built to make real world drone deliveries. But if you want to get a drone like this, feel free to check out the website in the link in the description, and we can definitely help you with sorting that out for your school. And drones like the Amazon delivery drone or the zipline drone also use servers instead of electromagnets to pick up their cargo. Of course, not all cargo is made out of metal. We were just using the electromagnet to demonstrate something in principle, but in the real world, because they deliver things like medical supplies that might not be metal, could be things like packets of blood and plasma. These things could be packaged in cardboard. So a real-life delivery drone might use servos, doors and clamps to carry those items. And that's it from me today. If you have any more questions, feel free to write it in the chat. Otherwise, I will see you again next week for our drone formation demonstration. Okay, I'll see what else we have in the chat. Rightio. So it looks like everybody is out of questions. So that's it from me today. I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.